Here we are live, and it was a victorious weekend for some of the ladies in the sports fraternity. We touch on that. Head on, welcome a beautiful show of Temidlalo, a special edition, one would say, for a change, just changing where we are used to be at home, knowing our studio, but for a change, for a special occasion, for some of the special guests that you are going to see here live on Temidlalo, we decided just to change the scenario. We're here at MTN Golf Park just to give you a different view of what sports fraternity are all about. We're going to talk about some of the things that took center stage over the weekend. There was the Paralympic committee elections, and we touch on the new executive headed by Madali Somtine. She's going to be live to tell us what are the objectives, what are the assignments they're going to be given, what are the things that they need to be completed in the next 4 years as they'll be in the office. She's a lady, I must mention that. Another lady that made headlines over the weekend, Fisio Villan, is the new captain of the Mbabane Golf Club. Now, she served before as one of the executive members. Now she's chairing the Mbabane Golf Club. She will touch also on what she's looking to improve in the golf industry, especially talk about Mbabane. Otherwise, the vaccination campaign continued over the weekend at Mavuso. This is one sign that Eswatini are being called to vaccinate for us to be granted a chance to enter to the stadium next season. The numbers were quite exciting for the Premier League of Eswatini, the Ministry of Health, and the National Food Association. Otherwise, motorsport, another sport that was quite not involved in the past couple of months. So they are back in action. We'll also look at some of the highlights when our in-house analyst joined me here at the Eswatini Golf Park, MTN Golf Park, is going to be joining here in that time to touch about some of the things that took place over the weekend. Other activities include cricket, T20 League. We'll touch on a varsity team against Mbabane Cricket Club. All that is going to be live on Eswatini TV. Different venue, different place, but the content is always reliable. Just different ways you can watch the program through YouTube. Do not forget, of course, to subscribe in the comfort of your seat at home through school channel. You can always catch us. Now, for me to catch a breath and introduce a special guest is the new president of Eswatini Paralympic Committee. She's someone that, for some of you who are who are quite involved in some of the sporting codes like basketball, you have to understand that she's been in the industry for quite some time. Madali Somtine, she's already in the studio. How are you, ma'am?
I'm well, thank you, Fabrice. How are you?
I think on Saturday after the elections, I had a chat with you, and you said, I just got in the office, stop with the questions. And I wanted to know, a lot of things are going to be happening now from now going to the next 4 years that you're going to be in the office. And then you're like, no. Let me just enjoy the fact that I've been elected. Let me celebrate this moment first. Then we can meet on Monday. This is Monday. This is when you answer the questions.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you're here.
Thank you.
Just to give the viewers a quick, brief information, there was an interim committee before the actual election.
Yeah.
So, and that interim committee was for some sort to say, in the meantime, while you're waiting to have the Paralympic committee, and you're part of that interim committee, just give us a brief, information about that.
Okay. Firstly, thank you to the viewers.
Yes.
Greetings to them. So, firstly, I'll take it a step back from the interim committee.
Yes.
So there was the National Disability Commission, which was established through the Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council, as well as IOGA, but led by the Sports Council, the council. And that met a year ago.
Yes, a year ago, yes.
25th of September 2020. And at that, the commission was established, and it was from there that we began as a full commission to look into the constitution and assist in building it, basically, forming it. And then at that meeting, 6 people were nominated, and those 6 names were then taken up to the council and IOGA, and of which then it was a selection process happened, and 3 members were selected. And that was Michael Gama, who was the interim chairperson, Tulani Gina was a member, and myself, Madali Somtine, who was the interim secretary at that point. And we had, I think, about 3 main goals as the interim committee, also with the assistance of the full National Commission, to, 1, finalize the constitution and get it vetted with the IPC, which is the International Paralympic Committee. That's the mother body of all national Paralympic committees. And then we also were to create an emblem and identify an emblem of which we did, and a selection process was done at a further meeting at Eswatini on the 5th of July 2021 this year, where all the different member associations came and talked to that, and at that very meeting we also looked into the constitution, where it was adopted with minor changes to be made that have been made, and it has been adopted. And also then the last task that the interim commission had, committee had, was to make sure that the inaugural elections happen by the 25th of September.
Which is the exciting part that I want us to touch on, the elections itself. It was Saturday, and I think for some of the viewers who know, they will see through the pictures that I will be playing. On Saturday, you're part of the nominees, and you went on to be elected. Once again, congratulations. And I think just for this moment to release the names of the actual elected people during the elections. It's herself, Madalitso Mtine, and then there is the Mcebo Lulu.
Yes, Mcebo Lulu.
Then there is the treasurer, that's vice president. For treasurer, it's Sizwe Mabuza from Taekwondo Association, and then the 2 members is Nosipo Mahlala, also from Basketball Association?
No, she's from swimming.
From swimming, yes. Nosipo Mahlala, and then Maxwell Ngwenya from boxing. So you've been also given a task to elect the SG within 90 days.
Okay, a correction there. We don't elect the Secretary General. According to the constitution of the EPC, the position of Secretary General will be contracted. So we have to create KPAs, key performance areas, and all of that, and then advertise it, and a formal process will happen so that they can. Then there will be a shortlisting process as with normal employee regulations. Yes, so that's what will happen.
Madam President, you already have the name, we should use it. Now, the main issue here, I think the viewer is asking himself or herself to say, issue of having Paralympics is to have people living with disability being involved in sports. That's the main topic. We've seen Paralympic Games when they were taking place recently in Tokyo. We've seen how they are doing. Other countries are doing. The bigger picture is to say, can we now start having some of the athletes who are living with disabilities also representing the country? How are you going to work in hand with the Association of People Living with Disability, just to identify where those athletes are in different sporting codes?
Okay, so yes. In essence, it is to get people people with disabilities to be more involved in sport at all levels, at your competitive level as well as at leisure. And the right to play, as we know, is a right for everyone. The right to engage in sport is a right for everyone. And this is the beginning of the full sort of mass participation of everybody within sport. In terms of your question, firstly, there is one other position that has not been filled within the executive board, and that is one of the para-athlete representative.
Yes.
That would then be established through an athletes commission, and they would be nominated and then elected. So that is still outstanding. It would have been prudent to elect one without having an athlete's representation, because the key thing is to have para-athletes. So in terms of your question, I'd really more so want to talk to people who work with people living with disabilities in different institutions, and not just the sporting codes, in terms of the grander places, hospitals, our Cheshire homes, Fodswa, for instance, and say, how do we locate and where do we find people? Introduce simple action first, and activity to people, so that they can begin to recognize and understand that there are many different avenues, not to recognize that they have ability. They do know they have ability. It's about recognizing, but also to work hand in hand with the rest of the nation, because disability is tabooed, and the assumption is that people cannot do anything that if they are living with disabilities. However, the fact that we were able to see some of the highlights and some of the actual live games from Tokyo this year, 2021, it was 2020, but 2021,
yes.
It opened up a lot of conversation with different people in different communities. So I've been able to engage just on a personal level, and people are starting to say, I am able with my abled body self, and I cannot do half of this. This is challenging. And then saying, oh, you know what? I have a neighbor. Let me tell them about this. It might excite them. So we want to get that kind of excitement and be able to build from there, especially from the young ages, so that possibly we have representation at France 2024. I cannot say that concretely right now, but that is my wish. And the team is still yet to meet for our first meeting. So that's definitely the plan. But it's not just about the athletes themselves. It also includes coaching, officials, and there's something that we call classification. So every disability has different, is coded differently. And so we definitely need to be looking for classifiers in Eswatini that can be involved. And because, for instance, I will use wheelchair basketball, it's labor intensive. We also would be looking at having volunteers that would come just to assist with the sport and managing it and those kinds of things. Yeah.
Beautiful, because you've actually answered my next question to say, France 2024, what are we doing? But you've touched on that. You're going to work in hand with the Association of People Living with Disability. There's a lot of work to be done. Let's hope by the time that you leave office, everything will be done accordingly. Thank you very much for being in there. Once again, congratulations for your post. And I think you being elected as the president, as a female, they always say there's a female touch. So they say it's like you're a parent at some point. So there's passion when it comes to you as a lady. On top of that, you're a president. So thank you very much. And let's keep in touch and see how people living with disability can take a huge step in sports. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, there you have it. That was Madalitso Mtine, the newly elected of Eswatini Paralympics Committee. She touched on a couple of issues. The elections were on Saturday. They did, announce the board, together with the likes of Sizwe Mabuza as the treasurer, Vice President Mcebo Dludlu, the members Nosipo Matlalela and Maxwell Ngwen. Otherwise, a short break. When I come back, it's going to be beautiful here in the studio because something is going to happen with two guests pertaining to this after this. Still with you, of course, here at Eswatini TV, beautiful show. If you just join us here, it's a different setup, it's a different scenario where we are here at MTN Golf Park. Now, for this moment, I'm going to introduce you to the Mafuso family. One thing I've picked is that when they're in the golf course, they're not a family. Everyone is playing for himself. But once they win the trophies, they bring them at home as winners. I'm welcoming the Mafuso family. Yes. Banel Mafuso, the son, also in the company.
Thank you for having us, Fabrice.
All right. They're also in the presence of some of the rewards that they have achieved. So if I'm talking about the monthly mark for the month of August, of course, the bigger one means is the bigger achiever over the weekend. But Mafuso, official nje mhlambe sitawungena kule tournament, but nari achievement, knowing ukuthi maybe umbutu tawutsi unetwete ngomishi. Yes, usho ukuthi someone was a bit ahead of Lomungi. Khona la bathi i-cross net eGaluveni, lenye ibe i-cross the normal. So see, the Rune cross net is the one who will on the day the best winner, which is you. But I think the connection as a family. You playing, he's playing as your son. I've met him a couple of times. So cool me people would say I play at the highest level. As a family, igaruva in Kanzanja.
Basically ngakusho nje ukuthi kona kuhle lokuthi ase sofike kulezinga leli besolo simsupporta as part of ngoba vele uyayibe nemaphupho for umntwana wakho ukuthi abe nesport lazidlalako. So it happened ke ngoba ngile golf la besudlala yona and some supporter vele from junior level lokho azafike la safike khona nyalo. Yes.
Umbututsi babe mvuso yourself ucala nini noma it was on a social note so tikaza naso so uyawutsanza lo mdlalo ufika njani ukuthi sevele eGalvin sendahambe imphi
like so the sport nje khanza ucala ulandzele leso sport leso so mina ngaba besihle sibabo khedi eChaneni because I grew up eChaneni so lapho ke besibabo khedi so sabane kuyifisa lokuyidlala le golf so seloku sesidlala ke sengimdzala but I think ngidlale sukela 15 years ago. Yes, la ngicale khona kuyidlala on a regular basis and yeah kona vele sidlala as a social sport thine lesesingaka.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we'll come again to the family success once again of the sport. Let's talk about the trophies in front of you. Baneth, playing with your dad. We get to how the results became how they are, but playing with your dad. So how do you leave the house? Your own transport? You go together. The competition, because off record he told me, hey, nangse cousin how do you leave the house? How's the mentality? Is it dad?
It's just like a normal day. But he drops me off most of the time.
Yes.
So he teed off later than my time. So golf course, and then he went back home, and then came back. There's no really game plan. Like we don't even talk about what's gonna happen. It's just every man for himself.
Every man for himself.
Every man.
Let's
for
talk
himself.
about this day now, where you both ended up walking away with the trophies. How take us through the days this morning when you got there?
Okay, I woke up, showered, did the usual, and then I asked him to drop me off and so I could warm up and hit balls. He doesn't do that. He doesn't warm up before he plays, but I do. So I asked him to drop me off, and then he paid for the green fees. And then I didn't really see him after he dropped me off. I think he left. I'm not even sure. But I didn't. As soon as I dropped off, I just took my bag, and then went to practice, and then just got on the first tee box, and then started trying to implement my game plan that I've planned by myself. And it's just another normal round of golf.
Yeah. Babe mavuso mhlawumbe nje kumbukela tibuta ukuthi cha nathi tinkomisho connecting 2 ngathi siyasinza ingakangawe nje babe mavuso but lenye sencane kusinika sithombe nje kafishane ukuthi yini lesembi kwethu.
Okay, challenges singabonga sponsors sethu sa Eswatini Royal Insurance Corporation for kusponsorisha this tournament Mbabane on a monthly basis. So basically the competition is all about the monthly mark, that is kuba ngule net. So probably as it continued, they decided as a golf club they should reward even those the low handicappers, because as kule net, as your handicap is higher, so we've got better chances of having a better net. You see, so I happened to be one of them, the winner this month. This is the second time. Now last year I won it once. Unfortunately, I sang Taribo the following month. So so that's how it went. And Nami, I was on point on that day. So that's why I came out a winner.
All right. Njengemtali babe mavuso on the day nithola tingomishi going home, they feel on its own. Ibanjani ukuthi at least le talent lonalo. So nomvane sonalo.
every man unayo le competitiveness in him. So ke kwathi kulenye interview bami interviewer ukuthi so wine kakhulu yena tinkomishi kanjani njani, and then base bambuta ukuthi babo wakho yena ke uyamudla yini. I still remember those words athi mina nje sengaba ukudla kwakhe.
Yes.
So I felt this time around because I have to turn the tables, and that's how I picked up my game. That's how I got my net.
I would want to know how things went home. Did you eat at the same table, or you decided to say that no, I'm not eating at home today?
It was just good vibes. Everyone was happy. Everyone was happy with the outcome.
Yes.
So there wasn't bad blood between it.
Yeah.
Or he didn't even boast about it. It was just like well played. But unfortunately, you couldn't keep up with my pace.
Yes. Your dad touched on the future and how you want to achieve a lot. And I think we had a talk at some point. I think you were the best, was it July? Was it July or June? Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
around there. We had a talk. I think you were the monthly mark winner for July. And you told me about plans for Region 5, that you want to work hard and see yourself maybe turning Region 5 or international competitions from December going forward. How are things standing for you now?
It's just taking it day by day, just grinding, practicing, working on the swing. So and then I just feel like everything will just come out and just that's what I'm looking for. Just downplay it and just. And eventually, if I work hard enough, I'll get to where I'm going.
Yes.
So just right now, it's just a matter of putting in the time, putting in the efforts, focus, and just hard work and grinding. And then hopefully, things will just fall by, and then I'll take off.
When you look at international professionals, we have your Pennington, your Nobuhle. How do they inspire you?
Yeah, they inspire me a lot because Nobuhle is doing well for herself. I even saw this week, I saw she got a new sponsorship with Adidas, I think, and like she was in a commercial, and that was really big. Just seeing someone from the same country where I'm from playing the same courses where I play is doing big things. Jamie, he's got sponsorships with Shrixon. He's got posters. That's just big inspiration. So hopefully, I can get there one day.
Mavuso nje kafishane mhlawumbe singakavali kunembuto nje uhlala ukhona nje nasekhuluma ngemidlalo egaluva ukuthi cha ungafisa nje kumsekela umfana wakho manje ngathi la mathulusi ngathi anokudura kancane kunenkulumo kanje ngabe wena how did you start to ensure that uyamsita umfana as a Sanzere sport?
Ngiyabonga ukuthi uyiraise leyo. Yeah, it's difficult kulukhuni vele. Kodwa ke vele sonke sport isinjalo. Isijade nje thina sibe nenhlanhla because the way lesakheka ngayo singemaswati siyathi ukuthi umfana belongs to a community whereby nangabe kukhona la nami sengishodelwa khona ngiyaya kumakhelwane ngiyomcelela ukuthi hey nebakithi nabe ngithi shukela wami wenele naku sekwehlile ngangisida yini cha ke sibambisane nalabanye labakhona in the golf fraternity and really siyasupportana vele kakhulu ngaloko ukuthi i-problem ye-golf la uyicala khona uyicala nge-equipment lethide then as u-advance with your game kufanele nale equipment yakho ishintshe so ke uyintshintshe ilingane nalezi zinga lesowukilo so ke kuhamba ke kanjalo ke ngiko-ke kuba kufike kube lukhuni lapho but njoba sengishido nje ukuthi with the support that lesiba nayo singema-golfers kuyayibe ngcono angibekise nje le nyalo lama-clubs labeka wasebenzisa akasamlungeli so igame yakhe seyifike ishayise la ishayisa khona so ngathi angatokhulekela khona la e-range la MTN range ngakhuluma na Mr Dlamini ukuthi what is it esingabonisana ngayo and we came up with a solution and unema-clubs lamasha nje ezisikhuluma. It's through that. So nalabanye bayasita nangabe kungemabhola. Even the club now ayasita nje kakhulu kulama juniors ethu because ku practice siyathi ukuthi kuyimali but Mbabane club came out with a plan ukuthi bonke laba sengakasebenzi even though seba past the junior stage but kodwa mainly bona bakule development yema juniors ukuthi bawasupporte bawabhadalele ema green fees and baba support nangemabhola nange game time. So basically this is how sikhonile.
Nambuka nje umfana wakho wemavuso ngabe ufise ukuthi afike kuphi in terms of the career the sport.
Kona vele njoba ngishito nje siliphupho lemntali vele liyayelifise ukuthi limbone umfana wakho ale ekugcineni. Kusho the sky is the limit njengoba basho njalo. But ke lokumcoka ngiloko ukuthi as a parent kulukhuni ngalokuthi bantwana bahamba ngema stages and kwanze ukuthi thine ke asifunzelanga kuba ngema parents. So you have to try by all means ube ahead of kuko konke la kucabangako ngoba nje njoba la sesikhona khona enyala kaza acala yena kuliphupha leliphupha like nguvile na umbuto ngabona obuhle na Pennington Jamie. They were together kuma juniors nabo Jamie na MJ nabo Gift nabo Avi and all those guys and ngangibasida ke mina ikakhulu nje Avi na Gift naye lo Banel ngibamekisa eSouth Africa kuma games ema juniors because bona they've got an organized junior competitions laba now so bengihamba nabo cabanga ke bona ke bebede transport so ngimi lo bekane transport but sile ngibalekelela so sekusho ukuthi liphupho vele lisuka khona lapho ke ukuthi yeah I want to see them going for bese ubuka lama achievements bebaba now abe win ama tournaments awina kuma stages la big like Kings Cup at some point wawina and sathina ngimix esikolweni seva Minister of Sports at the time noma of sports kwaku Mr. Ngaphalala Cruz so ke basinabakhuluma lapho wase hey dad listen they're talking about me uyabona so nanawe wena mntali so kuyak inspire ukuthi no vele I should keep up support so that si realize le dream ukuthi abe professional at some point.
Sibonga kakhulu Mr. Mavuso, Baba Mavuso. Banel, lastly before we close, I think your dad has been supportive. He's elaborating how he wants you to achieve in the sport. The commitment is on your hands. Now, there is the monthly mark for September coming. Are you looking for another challenge?
Yeah, of course I am. I said in the previous interview, I said one of my short-term goals was to win both of the trophies.
Yes.
And then unfortunately this month my own father beat me to it.
Yes.
But
September is coming.
September's coming. Hopefully I can improve and play a better score and win both of them.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, that is the Mavuso family, knowing that it's a costly sport, but the sky is the limit, as the way Babe Mavuso put it, to say once you have the passion, once your child has the passion, anything is possible. You start slow, but at the end of the day, you get there. They were both involved in the August monthly mark Eswatini Reinsurance Corporation tournament, and they're a family that put everything together. September is coming. The son now wants to beat his father. This is the kind of relationship we want in the sports fraternity. They're a family that love the sport. The Mavuso family have done everything to support this child, and he is going to grow and achieve a lot in the industry. Otherwise, a short break, he's already in the building. I sense him. Linda Dlamini, our in-house analyst, to give us an overview of other things that took place over the weekend. After this. They have it. We are once again back here live at Eswatini TV. The show is Temidlalo. If you just join us, don't go away because he's already in the building. He's already here to tell us what we saw, what we missed over the weekend. Bengisi namhlele ngivangathi bekunendisa. Bese ngicela abasebenza nabo bamakhamera ukuthi asisicishe kancane ngoba kusokunemsindo. So vele khona umlangeni kuvusela ingozi.
Yeah.
So uhlangene ndiza ngozi.
Ngivusele Fabrice esibalwa ngititfolwa lokho ngivusele imali yeLV yasekhaya. Ngimsondulo ebusuku ya. I-weekend beyinze Fabrice beyinze kakhulu na ubuka ukuthi itonge letinvo letendekile nge-weekend. Ukhuluma eGaluva, the father and son doing very well kuma sports naku sicetha kubona afisiwe lady captain babane club cricket is back and balungiselela-ke imidlalo yabo yase-Rwanda ema-qualifiers kune-motorsports is back finally finally ibuyile ya so ngicabanga ukuthi le weekend ibe yinze na ukubuka le tinto letendekile but sine lesithanza lokubukela le midlalo ibe yimfisha kakhulu because ungathi bangasingetela lamanye malanga kuchubeka kube weekend.
Ngisitena ufika Ngosi ngiyakushayela ukhanze njani enzayo sikuyo Ngosi ngoba akusela ujwayele kuba khona.
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi ishaya nje umoya kuphuma nje uphuma bengaphandle ngicabanga ukuthi nama-loyal viewers ayabona nje ukuthi la ngikhona comfortable ngikhululekile ngishaywa ngumoya tonke le tinto thanks to yona i-M10
kanye na Eswatini TV. Now Master uthinzizaba yeMavuso family sibonile ukuthi the father and the son are playing together over the weekend. Quickly maybe before we get to that angathi ngoba uyayiseka singayisho yini ukuthi now we have a son. Ngabe kulomsebenzi wendawo nje ukuba insathele lihambe empilo. Singambona imfana wakho na ubudlelwane.
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi my son wakwangibuda wathi babe ngitangifaka indlela usebenta khona ngathi mfana wami la ngikhona khona mina ngifakwa ngomkhulu wakho so yeah kumele no ngimfundisa ukuthi kumele timele remember ukuthi uthi Ted Mavuso uthi his son azange yena mforce ukuthi akangena udlala igalufu wabe kunguye la funa ukudlala igalufu iwase kuyena so mentorisha uyabona uyamprovide nangaleti into ekudlala so if mine ngicabanga ukuthi nemali uyaviewers emakhaya banabantwana awumforce lo move noma umdonse ngenkani ukuthi athanze le mvulo ithandwa nguwe akade ithanzele yena aweke hard bese suyamsupporta
Banele Mavuso the son singasho ukuthi likusasa lomfana Master na ulibuka eGalufeni I think he's going to be one of the best. The country is slowly producing. We've seen Bo MJ, we've seen the likes of Pennington Jemmy. Nobuhle is another level. We can't even discuss it now. But Nambuga and the support of the father. What's your reaction?
Tinzathu Fabrice timvela ngititfolako proper development i-support then le dedication from lo muntu uyakhuluma yena Mr Mavuso ukuthi banele ube khona ku-development nabo Jamie beba kule setup inye and nababuka cishe bonke labamvu labo lama results nyalo ayavela besikhuluma last week sithi 3 weeks ago Jamie wayewina that tournament i-RSRIC nakunyalo banele kancane nje uhlulwa ngibaba wende kahle kakhulu sokuthi babo wakhe yena ubese so overall yes but ngicabanga ukuthi le timvo lethu letinzafu lentishito ukuthi development proper support from the family from a club because ne club imcoka kakhulu bese sekuthi wena la ngekhathi kuwe ufise ini uyamuva ukuthi is an ambitious young man lunemaphupho lamahle ukuthi uyafuna naye ukuyodlala ngaphandle and nawubuka Fabrice nangabe uyigolfer awutilandzeli itindzaba talamanye emagolfers ukuthi bani udlala kanjani usponsorishwa ngibani then uku-wrong field if wena uyi-journalist ungasiko updated kulamanye ama-journalist kulamanye amave then uku-wrong field banele ukhuluma ukuthi Nobuhle uawe ukuthi uthole sponsor lesisha uawe ukuthi udlala kuphi so ngicabanga ukuthi yena dine ngileti ngoleti motivatako luckily ke yena even his dad naye umdlalo galufu.
Talking about golf and development of golf in the country over the weekend on Saturday Mbabane Golf Club, those of course who know the club players and golfers and all those they held the elections for the captain of the club after the tournament where Mavuso and his son Banele were the champions. There were elections, and the elections for the first time in the history of the club it was a female. Fiswe Vilana is a well-known face in the golf industry and other sporting areas. Now, before we discuss this issue, we'll take a short interview and listen to what she has promised to deliver since she is the captain. Fiswe Vilana.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu for trusting me with the responsibility. I don't take it for granted. I think anga be very obvious. especially in the past week in terms of how the elections will go today. So, ngicela kubonga kakhulu ukungithemba. I think for me, and I've shared with the previous captain, kuta ekomidini is about serving more than about leading bamfu basembabane. So I want to believe ukuthi ngizochubeka, sacrifice my hours, my time, my resources as well, to make sure ukuthi si recruit bamfu bete embabane and have a good experience embabane. Bamfu basembabane babane ma issues. Let's listen to them and deal with them fairly. Si khone kubalalela to move forward and to also think about the club going forward. Ngibonge kakhulu Captain Lophumako, Kenneth. I think mina ngifike eMbabane Golf Club on the other side yema sponsorships, and he was the first person that I worked with. So in terms of understand the sports golf, vele ngicabanga ukuthi ngicale phansi kwakhe. And having served in the committee last year, ngicabanga ukuthi nakhona encourage kakhulu, empowerisha, I think nani benbona in terms of how much responsibility he has placed on me. Ngingakayiqeli. So nalogo anguthathi kancane msuthu, it's not everyone that could have done that. So I really appreciate ngifuna nje ukusho ebaleni ukuthi ngiyakubonga kakhulu for that. And yes, coming into this new position, I have never been in this position. Ngiyathemba ukuthi ama members angeke eve ngathi angikhulumiseki noma ukuthi khona into engadilaleli. However, also not to say ukuthi manje ke asihlangane nisihlebe or sikhukhe something, but just in terms of looking ukuthi i-club, looking at ukuthi i-club iye embili. I'm very passionate about having more bomage eMbabane, and I think even the other clubs are now feeling it in terms of lalabanye bashaye babute ukuthi eMbabane vele why, how is it? So ngicabanga ukuthi logo ngizochubeka ngikuphushe vele. I think also priority for me is to say Mbabane is the biggest club in Eswatini. There's no reason why we shouldn't have onke lama big sponsors la Mbabane. So let's go out and convince ema sponsors ukuthi we are the club to support.
Now, Master, we are moving Villa, and I think on countless occasions, ngayabona nikhuluma and nibuka team for Temidlalo. Now mbuka fisiwe as a woman. Singabuka ukuthi yes, it's history and female. Singasho ukuthi they are making history in the sport. Kuhle yini kokuqala ukuthi vele akhethwe njengama captain wale club. Two, it's a chance ukuthi tinombolo tabo make kule government ingekeke.
Fabrice, ngicabanga ukuthi kumele siphume noma siphelele isikhathi sekuthi sibude ukuthi why a lady noma sithi aw ngathi kuyasethusa because if she's good nawe ugood akungabukwa ukuthi female noma male. I'm happy nje nakulokwenteke lokwenziwe eMbabane club ukuthi bamkhethe because I understand ukuthi why kube about gender ukuthi wena akuphele lento leyo fisiwe siyamati ukuthi leadership qualities ukuthi kangana usebenzele corporate companies wawathuthukisa nakhona even nale golf yaseMbabane ngicabanga ukuthi so lokukhethwa kwakhe ngicabanga ukuthi indvo letinhle leto for ma females in the country because batawukhona nabo ukuthi batethembe because indvo leshoda konyalo ukuthi bona batethembe lokuthi we can do it nakunyalo fisa ukhethiwe. And I can assure you Fabrice nawe ma viewers ekhaya ukuthi yena fisa utawu lead by example as a captain of the club.
Beautiful stuff, and of course a couple of things lined up here on Temidlalo as you're watching. Now, this specific production, this show Temidlalo, they had an exclusive interview with Eswatini Sports and Recreation Council CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Darius Dhlomo. Now, in this interview, don't get confused. Mr. Dhlomo is not saying do anything nyalo sekuvumelekile ukuthi ungadlala noma ini to talk fair. Uthi Mr. Dhlomo, if you have something lined up write a formal letter or communicate with the sport council format, and then council will request to the ministry ukuthi bangakuvumela ukuthi uqhubeke nama-activities. It could be your AGM where you want to extend the numbers. It could be an activity where ngiyabekisa you want to have an international celebration, so you have a small game. Write a formal letter, write a formal suggestion. They will request to the ministry. Your wish will be granted. Let's listen to Mr. Dlomo first. When I come back, Dlamini is going to give us a proper explanation to what Mr. Dlomo is saying.
Ikona Fabrice imithetho ibekile uhulumende ukuthi live likuphi ngeCovid ema restrictions angiwo la suka wabekile ngaleso sikhathi. Kepha nje what we are saying kubantu bethu bema sports associations, uma there is a need, consult with the office and see whether you cannot file in a waiver request kuhulumende. Sihambe siyokucelela ikakhulu ngikhuluma ngetindzaba tema AGM lo ukhanza khona ukuthi maybe restriction ibeka abantu ku-50 kanti wena ni-80. Sithi hulumende singamcela lokuthi anendele lawo ma-waiver lawo ama-AGM. So ningesabi wotane office ningafilishi ngazi ukuthi senisafotheteke kakhulu ngoba ungihulumende nje uyalalela ticelo tebantu mangabe kufuna ukuthi mhlambe kuwaive nje maybe ngebantu labalishumi noma labayi-20 bese ke sekuba nalokuthi ndawenda njani ukuze leligciwane linganako. Ngisho ama-associations ngiwakhuthathe bangahlali idekledekle bese abendi lutho, aba-consulte with office lethu labafuna kukwenda kuze khona thina kuba-guide accordingly. Sikubukisane lokuthi lokhu uhulumende angakuvuma, lokhu ngeke akuvuma, sikufake kuhulumende asingakufaka. Siyabonga.
Ngosi uyamuva Mr. Dlomo, siye sikubone tikufela tidlalwa lapha nalapho master bese abantu bathi ukuthi hawu bona bakavulumende yabo. So uthi Dlomo, if you have something lined up ibhala sicele kahle, then sine seyihulumende through Ministry of Sports sibacela ukuthi cha basenza bani yakuphi kuphi yathi banemisebenzi kanje sicela nibanike imvumo ukuthi bakhona ukusebenza. I think these are some of the signs ngisho ukuthi slowly siyabuyela kuma
indvu lekhe kakhulu Fabrice before nje singene deep kule interview yakhe CEO Mr. Dlomo idindzaba yekujova because lokujova the more bajova bantu the more bamvu batawuvunyelwa ukuthi badlale ma-fans abuyele ema-stadiums. So ngicabanga ukuthi with le interview le i-clear. I remember last week ungibuta ukuthi sekuvumelekile yini ukuthi labale ngaphasi kulowa division badlale. I said akavumeleki, the last time I checked bebangavumeleki, but uthi inyalo Mr. Dlomo uyabhala. If wena uva ngathi khona imvumo yakho activity yakho lofuna kuyenda noma ufuna costa a mini tournament ukuthi abo December nyalo we miss lama stokfela lawo yes nami nje I miss ukudlala kule stokfela le
stokfela sakuphi wena Nkosi
chief ungayilapho but nje tinenge tinkomo tiyadlalelwa, so utawubhala umixe khona ka sports council. I-sports council inayibona lo sicha kuyevakala then batawuhamba bamise e-ministry of sports bakubuke then abakubukile lokho so ungabanga kunika ke le permission noma le mvumo yokuthi uchubeke udlala.
You have heard it first here live on Eswatini TV. Your show is Temidlalo. If you just join us, subscribe on YouTube. You can always get a notification to watch the show in the comfort of your zone at home. Just don't miss out. Now, moving on, cricket. Talk about cricket. Another club that we haven't really touched on a couple of times is the varsity, university, or rather varsity. Some use university, those use varsity cricket club under T20 league against Babane club. The captain was telling us about how is the team doing and what are the things to expect from the varsity cricket club. Let's listen to the captain first.
Okay. Because esikoleni asikho sonke kunema year 4s nema year 2s, it's a bit difficult ukuthi sijima sonke yabona. But ke siyazama ukuthi sijimine laba labasuke bakhona on campus. Mangibuka i-performance yethu namuhla kule match yanamhlanje ngasho ukuthi hayi there is improvement from last league's performance. Luckily this season we have a lot of Emma teams. Kanzi last time we bega mancane lama team, so abe strong lama team now, and it's in one of the weakest teams. But nyalo it's good with the signal amanye teams, so I think it's our corner we will be able to win at least 2 matches. That's my plan, and then develop myself nami nje personally ne-team nayo ngisite lapho idzinga ukuthi ngisite khona. Ngaloko ukuthi ke bese sengake thina sadlala na any of the new teams, but ke ngasho ukuthi mina ngiyajabula ukuthi sekunalama ema-team sesitawukhona lokukhompitha ke nyalo, sikhone nekudlala nalamanye emaswati akhone ukuthi abone lo somdlalo no umnanzi. I'm very honored ukuthi bangiselect nami ukuthi ngibe part of le team letawuhamba iyo represent country Rwanda next month. Yeah, I'm very happy, and ngasho ukuthi it's something lebengisolo ngifuna. Ever since I started playing, I did want to represent the country ngibe national team. Ngaloko ke lokho ngisolo ngifuna akhona kudingisela ukuthi hayi bagcine bangirecognizile ukuthi no, the player lena deserve ukuba ku squad.
Yes, Master, utsinzinza ukuthi there's international tournaments that are coming. Siyamove a captain lapho yakhuluma. Kuba namaqembu lamaningi ngos in terms of cricket. Ngiyasithi sathi ukuthi bakhona bo Mbabane cricket club yabo, and other clubs we've seen dominating in the past. Park 11, all those clubs that we've seen. This varsity club, ikuchela kuthini ngos?
Fabrice, before sifike lapho, I think lama games for me kube i-wrong timing. Angiyathi ukuthi bajakepi, but imagine if these games bekasolo achubeka for the past 2 months, 3 months, le senior men squad ngangabe ikuphi le level yawo, because bebatabe badlala. Bayabuya nge-weekend badlala already i-national team seyivele ise-campini bahamba mhla ka-13 baya eRwanda. So yes, I'm happy because kule T20 league vele ngilapho khona tishukana khona, but ngicabanga ukuthi lama games mini if bekadlala for the past 2 months besitawubona i-improvement ku national team ye cricket.
We'll see an improvement on the national team of cricket. Master, utsinziza ukuthi batahamba maybe nje ukukhumbula sibe ukuthi baya kuphi, and what does it mean for the sport fraternity?
Yes, le team yalakhaya ihamba iya eRwanda ICC T20 qualifiers iyaqala mhla ka 16 yaphela mhla ka 23. Yes, siku group A la sikhona khona, so ngicabanga ukuthi every cricket player is motivated kuba in fact solo sagcina kwadlala lama qualifiers 2018. So uyabona ukuthi le gap yalo 3 years every player unawutamhlalisa 3 years. Ngicabanga ukuthi nyalo labangeni linyalo batawufuna ukuthi bashiye bakhe history because asadi ukuthi kuyaphinze ngenelo nini lamanye ama games. So ngicabanga ukuthi all the players are motivated, nalala badlala league but are motivated, including nabo lala bancane, because kulala amanye ama teams ukhuluma ngale team yasemvasi kunabadlali abancane, le team yasembabane as much as bakhona labo ama senior players but bakhona nalala bancane labasafuna ukutakhela ligama labo.
Talk about making a name. The cricket team is doing what they do best. They are trying all the best to make sure that when time comes next month, they'll be ready for the tournament in Rwanda. Now, moving on, another sporting code that is loved and liked and used and enjoyed by many is motorsports. They will motorsports master. Now, motorsports master. Lithusi linginalo ekhaya ngingavete ukuthi ngiliphi ngalithathe ngifakela riders range ukuthi ngikompete. Now ubuka lethi to master, any car is there.
Yeah,
it's just that you need to be ready to use it.
Yeah.
What's your take, Master? The sport itself. Facility, the facility is now.
Yeah, sinayenza uFabrice ngicabanga ngeweekend sport lesandva abantu labaningi kakhulu besibuyile motorsport bantu bayathanda ukubukela timoto the racer nawe nje lithulusi umshini wamajalimane uhlala ubita kanjalo umshini wamajalimane ungalithatha Fabrice uhambe uyo compete ngalo sisibonile ke ngicabanga ukuthi highlight of the day Mercedes versus BM tibekiwe so ngicabanga ukuthi lapho labanye bayibathanze Mercedes because of comfort BMW because of speed when I love VW because of na speed but ngicabanga ukuthi labanye
bayingasho yini Master ukuthi nithathe VW
angithi uhamba ngayo uhamba ngayo
yabona ingoti Master okachubeka
yeah but njengoba ngishilo ukuthi ungalithatha nawo lithulusi uvumelekile ukuthi uhambe uyo compete kube khona nabo Audi siyibonile Audi versus yona i BMW yes sasesibonile njengoba ngisho ukuthi highlight of the day BMW versus Mercedes oh man ngicabanga ukuthi beyinhle kakhulu bantu bajabulile final sport sabo sibuyile I hope ukuthi tawuqhubeka sidlalo because I motorsport akusiyo sabuta even last year ukuthi timoto siyashayela sonke so if kude lama fans ikuphi lenkinga lokuthi sibuye sidlale because vele ayithi lapha emotweni niba ngu4 niba ngu5 uba wedwa nje ushayele noma ube nepassenger but uba wedwa ushayele le moto ucompete asikasheshe ngani sabuya le sport
Master mhlambe before we leave the sport umbutho lanzela ngona ngibuka nje lethithombe lesibukako nje la emoyeni ngibuka la umshina nawo Master utilungiselela kanjani ugasolina uyamngeta nje ma brakes usaye kule competition because I don't want to believe ukuthi you can take your car the way it is now you need to change tires you need to change you know a couple of things brakes and all those things and in terms of also petrol ufuna ube ready ngile sports ngasho ukuthi sinako ukudura kancane Master
anti involo ithanza uFabrice besikhuluma ngegaluva ukuthi igaluva cishe letinto takhona tiyabita but sinaka busithanza what lo ufunani lo le mali lo ikhokha ngicabanga ukuthi ayiva even nangala emotweni bakhona abantu abasebenzisa ama 3 liter excuse me ma 3.5 so ngicabanga ukuthi lo gaso na ngabe lo petrol udleke inveni loyithanzayo ngicabanga ukuthi kude inkinga lapho yes vele kudinga ukuthi imoto uyiservice ma brakes tonke letinto to check ingatofika le moto lena ikunika inkinga na uthi uyasuka because kusuke iyareva ke le moto le ingabe seseyakubilela thola ukuthi ilambu seyishaya ilambu lemanti ukuthi seyiyabile but ngiyethemba ukuthi leti moto lotibonako nje nawe lapha ukuthi cha tiyaserviswa kahle mathayi tonke letinto leto na ungesabi umshini wamajalimane uhambe
unangabe unomshini wamajalimane ngwamikisa la riders range for a competition motorsports once again it's a sport that has been given a green light to proceed with activities slowly surely we're getting there in doing so we should all vaccinate. The campaign has already started over the weekend. Premier League of Eswatini, Football Association, Ministry of Health, and National Football Association, they were at the Jubilee Park in Manzini. Master, si buga chitombe nati buga nje balance all different class. Marandi Chiefs, Buffaloes, Green Mamba, Swallow, Highlander, Wanderers. Bonge nje bathi sebajovile. Bakutsatala ama fans ukuthi sebajovile.
Yeah.
Ngabe ujubele mingosi mbene off record conversation on Sunday. CEO of Football Association avalisa sitsebe esamhlekazi yekosafa ya 2021 uthi nangabe vele 60% bajova chances are season next bayabavumela ukuthi bangene mind you must nasecala season mhlawumbe mhla 8 August 8 October entindo ngebe solo bazama ukuba vaccinate lama campaign angaqhubekela kuma stadium so that wena noma ufike ngakajova bavele bathi cha before ungene stadium chala la ujova usitawungena uyibuka njani indzaba Master?
Tonke letinvo leto Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi tihambisa info yinye ukuthi bamvu abajove. Yes ibhola siyayithanda ama-fans siyawathanda but nakulisibhekane nako nyalo umkhuhlane i-COVID-19. So bamvu abajove indlela lehamba iyocedza leyo mkhuhlane ngilokujova. Bese sekususwa le campaign ke kuthi ema-fans kuze atobuyela ema-teams awo atawukhona ema-teams ala ekhaya atawukhona ukuthi athole leyo mali kuma-gate takings abangene lama-fans angena njani ke lama-fans ukuthi a-vaccinate. Samva even na president wayo i-Football Association on Wednesday nabalontsha le campaign e-technical center ukuthi kutaba ne-competition i-team litawuba nebalandzeli labashove kakhulu kukhona umklomelo wabo lobekiwe nje ngiyabekisa i-team wabekisa ngathiwa ama-teams aseMbabane wabekisa ngeMbabane Highlanders neMbabane Swallows ukuthi if because nale competition la kujoveni kumele ibe khona kwatiwe nje ukuthi no balandzeli bethu bajove kakhulu kunebakho so ngicabanga ukuthi lokho kutaba motivator ukuthi bahambe bayojova siyakubona eNgilandi kenteka i-performance yalama teams compared to ngesikhathi angekho lama fans ihlukile totally different so ngicabanga ukuthi even nalakhaya siyafuna lokubona ama-fans abuye i-competition itaba sethu iwinile Arsenal Fabrice itolo.
Angathi ke sikhuluma ngemjovo sisingena Arsenal. Kodwa he's an Arsenal fan. He made it public. He made it felt by everyone. Now talk about fans over the weekend at the Jupiter Park in Manzini. They had a field day where in their numbers, in the colors of their clubs, they showed us something. It was a showpiece. You know, they were showing us what teams have been missing. Take a look at this, and maybe in your mind you will have a memory at Somklo National Stadium when your team was playing at Mavuso in Flangano. Awubuke na. Master, savarisa ngivuthenza nge-Arsenal. Arsenal won over the weekend 3-1.
Yeah.
But the headlines are being made quickly before we leave. Is Arteta now winning people's trust with that win?
No.
Would you say the future is good? The Chinese player that is Tomiyasu in the squad was impressive for you. What was the mind game about the game?
I think overall nje ma-performances alama teams in England itaba competitive kakhulu le league le ngoba ukuthi Man City won against Chelsea. Manchester United lost. I know ukuthi lesebenta nabo banenge balandzeli be-Manchester United including our producer idliwe Arsenal iwinile 3 games in a row now iwinile in fact bebadlala i-derby against Tottenham Hotspur so that's the biggest win of the season Arsenal itholile that's why I'm happy.
That's why he's happy. Nguvalise Ngosi and to the loyal viewers.
Ngibonga mina Fabrice ngibonga ama loyal viewers ekhaya ukuthi asinika indlebe asinika liso asilalele ukuthi sendani Fabrice lokunya ngingakusho lebe ngifuna kusho.
Sizathu sokuthi ngisheshe mkhulule kune helicopter la ngaphandle fune isheshe imdrop la kufuna yakhona otherwise it's been a beautiful show here at MTN Golf Park. A change of scenario of course for you as a viewer trying to reach out to different things to see how the test will be for you. Otherwise know that this show proudly brought you by Eswatini TV, the directors Taribo Bembe, the co-directors the likes of Tapero Mabuza and of course our in-house analyst making a huge contribution. Here we are still live, but know that one thing, we never stop.